for that. And I'm like, I'm the only Asian or Eurasian stunt guy in Australia, so I guess I'm doing it. And yeah, there's been a lot of jobs I've done that I've produced and jumped in front of the camera. So.
Wow. So you've done that, and you were in the commercial. You were a producer. You're now an actor. So what did you have to do? You had to swim up to a building or through a building?
Well, it was all shot in a dive pool underwater. And they did the Yuksam building in CG later and had me swimming up the outside of the building.
Oh, wow.
But there was another commercial. I wasn't producing this one, but I was doing the stunts for it. Was for the tyres commercial, and they built this half-pipe ramp like this, about 6 stories high, put a car on it, and had this car driving backwards and forwards on this ramp, and had me standing on the car like this. And it was kind of dangerous, you know. Because if the car, because it's an open car, and you know, if the car came off the ramp, then really, what was I going to do?
Yeah.
You know?
So you are a jack of all trades in this film. You're a producer, you are an actor, you are a stuntman, and you're also a director.
Yeah.
Other things?
Editing and yeah,
You
I
do
mean,
editing?
I've done, and I've written a lot of scripts for different companies too. But the jack of all trades. You know, I was thinking about that recently.
Yeah.
The jack of all trades expression I don't really like.
Okay.
Because the full expression is jack of all trades, master of none. And I don't
I see too much going on.
I
It's
don't
not
believe
good, yeah.
I don't believe that I'm like I've worked in many different fields, but I don't believe I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I think I've worked very hard to get to the top of each ladder.
Right. Wow, that's really good. So you've got it. Okay, here's another one. All under your belt. Everything that we're seeing on screen or on film or movies, you've kind of seen or done it or did it or created it. Wow. And even writing, even the writing part.
Well, I see filmmaking as a very holistic process.
Sure.
So I like to create from the word, the idea, and the execution, and then, you know, acting is another form of creativity, and fight choreography is the same as dance choreography. You know, it's all about beauty, creating something beautiful. You know?
That's wonderful. And what about, you know, because we produce some things too, and of course, you know, our Star English, you know, we've got a whole team and of things of editors and, you know, producers and writers and all kinds of things. So, did you see, because you've worked on both ends, in Australia and in Korea, in America too?
Yeah, I was living there for a while.
Wow. So tell me, do you see that there's a difference of how this work is being done?
The Korean film industry, compared to the Western way of doing things, is wildly different. And that is why I started getting more and more work as a producer, because I understand the both worlds.
I see, yeah. Because you've got to have a little bit of this global world, your Western world and the Korean world, to be able to, especially for commercials, because you've got to sell it to the people who are looking at this globally, right?
But also just, you know, when you're doing international productions, it's about two cultures coming together. It's the work, but the work's bringing two cultures together. So if, you know, Korean culture and Western culture, there can be some subtle differences that will, if people don't understand them or don't explain them, multi-million-dollar productions just fall over.
That's right.
Like I had a commercial once where the directors were from Prague. the advertising agency was from Korea. The actors, everyone was from all around the world, and it was all shot in Melbourne.
Okay.
And, you know, at the end of the job, they're having some congratulatory drinks, and, you know, the Koreans are doing this, and, you know, European drinking is more like look them in the eye, and, you know, clink the glass, and that is respectful, or that's the way that Europeans drink, and Koreans don't do that. So these guys would, and I could feel the tension in the room rise, because the Czech directors were like, why aren't they looking at me? And the Koreans were like, why are they looking at me? Kind of thing. You know, so these little things happen, you know, all along the way.
That is really interesting. I'm going to take another shooting star moment here. There's so much in cultural, you know, awareness too going on. In a drinking situation, of course, globally, it's a little different. 우리 한국에서는 두 손으로, you know, we kind of look down, 이렇게 아래 쳐다보잖아요. But of course, in Czechoslovakia, 되게 남자답게 한 손으로 눈을 딱 쳐다본대요. So eye contact is needed. So it could be looked very differently. So, you know, it could, 오해가 될 수가 있네요. 그렇죠? Right? So there could be like a miscommunication for cultural, global etiquette of how we even drink together. So tell me some of the film crew that we were talking about, some commercials. You've actually worked in many film industries as a stuntman or acting or things like this. I heard you even worked on Matrix.
Yes.
You were mentioning earlier.
Yes. I
Matrix Reloaded. Which Matrix and what did you do?
I worked on the trilogy. So that was the number 2, number 3 in the computer game.
Okay.
And I came out, I had a bit of an accident.
Okay. Uh-oh. What happened?
I had an accident while we were filming one of the main fight scenes in the chateau.
And you were the stuntman in the Matrix, or what?
I was playing a character. I had an acting scene.
Oh, you did.
But it was an acting. Most of the acting roles I've done, or a lot of them, require me to do some of my own stunts.
Sure.
So this was a character that was. There's a scene with Monica Bellucci, and she describes my character as the character that cannot be killed.
Okay.
And when you play the video game, you actually get to fight me in the computer game.
What's your role in the video game?
The character's name is Kane.
Okay, Kane. Okay, so that's you.
my offsider, his name is Abel. So it's Kane.